There's Mustangs, but there's nothing like the Terminator. Terminator Cobra is arguably one of the most modified American cars of all time. With its screaming 4-valve supercharged V8, it is hard to deny the power of this car in 2003. But after all this time and 20 years later, the Terminator Cobra, still to this day, holds up as one of the most raw driving experiences somebody could buy. Man, it's been a while. This is a Terminator Cobra. The car that, in a lot of ways, I need to be thankful towards. It is by far the car that people mention the most to me when it comes to car reviews. In 2014, I drove a black Terminator Cobra that made 530 wheel horsepower. It had a ported blower, instant stuff like that, and it had Orla attacks. It was insanely loud. Terminated your eardrums. Today, we are in possibly the cleanest example of a Terminator I've driven that's modified. So, Terminator Cobra, if you don't know what it is, here's just a basic rundown. 4.6 liter, 4-valve V8. It was created to start combating Chevy in the LS cars because the 99 to 01 Cobra just didn't do the job. And in a nutshell explanation, when they were doing the R&D for the Terminator Cobra, around a track and on a back road, the SVT Focus was beating the 99 to 01 Cobra setup. This is like the top tier new edge SN95 Mustang. The 4-valve Terminator motor was a lot of ways to many people the American Supra because the motor could handle tons of horsepower right out of the box. It has mainly parts internally from the factory, which explains a lot. This one though is a built motor, has stock cams in it, but other than that, it's an absolutely gorgeous engine bay. Everything's polished, everything looks gorgeous, everything's really well done. And also, my first car was a new edge in this yellow, not the other yellow. That's like too dark in my opinion. This is the yellow I like on the new edge Mustangs. So this might look like some collector car Terminator Cobra, but that is not how it started. It started out as a roller, and then when they finally got it, they literally built this entire car on plywood and dirt, and it came out like this. So the fact that it came out this nice with no professional, like quote unquote shop or anything like that, just a homegrown group effort, it's just amazing what people can do when, you know, there's a saying I like saying, it's amazing what can be done when it's gotta be done. What's really cool about the Terminator as well is, honestly, it's an emotional car to me. It makes you feel good. And even though there are faster cars out today, this car is so insanely raw and intense to drive that a lot of people will get a more modern Mustang and then go back to the Terminator because they want that raw feeling again. The Terminator did come originally with independent rear suspension, and it was actually one of the only Mustangs at the time to do that. But a lot of people, when they went drag racing or did bigger power, they would convert it back to a solid axle car. And that is what this one is. This is actually the first solid axle Terminator I have driven. With all the Terminators I've driven, I've done the bolt-on one, I did a pro-charged one. Every time I see one of these, there is just something about them. And it's crazy to see how just minor differences on the Terminator's aesthetics, like the tiny little wing on the back with the big rear bumper and the larger front bumper, it just cleans up the new edge Mustang so much more than all the other ones, in my opinion. The thing is too, is the sound. The other thing is the gearbox. This has T56 Magnum in it. So the Terminator is kind of a tough car to drive fast your first time because the clutch rides all the way to the top. And along with that, the shifter is in kind of a weird funky spot, and it does this weird kind of angle thingamajigger in your hand. Once you get the hang of it though, it's just an absolute hoot to drive. Another thing too, the interior in the Terminator was pretty much the same. It was pretty close to the other models in the industry or in the Mustang lineup. They had just a few bits and pieces that were a little bit better. Seats are about the same, but you're really paying for the power plant when you have a Terminator. That is really where it shines, in the notorious supercharger whine. Speaking of that, this has a 3-liter Whipple on it and makes almost 900 wheel horsepower. All right, so why do people, after all these years, still love Terminator Cobras? This is why. That's amazing. It definitely kicked out on me. I was like, all right, I see you. But what's really cool is it's kind of a predictable car. Even if you're spinning in the Terminator, even with it being a 20-year-old car, it's still very predictable how it's gonna be. But yeah, it just goes. It goes like crazy. Just do a gentle third gear from 60, right? Stereotypical, I'm on the street goofing off gear. Bunch of EPR suspension on it, so that helps too. What's crazy is that these boreless stingers are so ferocious that you can barely hear the supercharger whine in this thing. They're so fun to beat on. That's like the number one thing about Terminators, is that whenever you're in the gas, it's just nothing but smiles. Even if somebody's beating you, you just don't care. You just don't care. You're just having a good time. So if you don't know the differences between like the New Edge and the Terminator when it comes to the aesthetics, it has the blocky wing, the bigger back bumper, the bigger front bumper, and also these two kind of hood scoops down on the hood. That's like a really easy way to identify a Terminator, or the two kind of sweeping scoops on the front. This also has the Mach 1 style grille on it. Going back to the gearing, when I was doing those pulls back there, it is just the right amount of sauce. Sure, I spun on that first one, but when I got back into it, hooked up and went. By going to a 355, you still have that good amount of acceleration, but enough headroom to hook up and go. Because if this had like a 410 in it or something, it would just be too much. Yeah, fun fact, this is also on Megasport on an MS3 Pro, and it keeps the car safe if anything goes wrong, and the car runs extremely smooth because you have all the control in the world compared to a 2003 ECU. What's really cool about the MS3s is most of the time, whenever you meet somebody who uses an MS3, it's a backyard build. Like, they grab the MS3, they put it in, they tune it themselves, which is really great. And this car runs super well. It does not feel like some Joe Blow said, I'm a tuner, and it just runs like crap. So, Terminator Cobra, freaking basically 900 wheel horsepower, what's it like? Honestly, it's just that next step above. And what's really cool about the Terminator Cobra that I've realized is no matter the power level, you are going to have fun. Whether you're a 450 wheel horsepower one or a 900 horsepower one, you're still gonna get a really fun experience. It's still gonna make you smile. It's still gonna have supercharger whine. It's still gonna kind of hit you in the face. It might get swirly on you, but that's kind of the fun part. All in all, it's a really amazing piece of American car history, and it's one of my favorite American cars ever made. On that note, what do you guys think of the car? I think it's beautiful. These things look really good in yellow. That's just my opinion. What do you guys think about it?